was, we weren't quite connecting, and I was just sitting here feeling into the new year, and I was like, oh, this is a new egg, a new energy, a new whatever. And I was like working with my guides, and I feel like I really have entered into a new me.
Timeline.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally. Totally. I'm just like, and it started coming through yesterday, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I really am. And I think part of it was like I was relating to welcome to channeling as the old, and I'm like, okay, I see that this gets to be new, and how
Yes.
my energy with it, how I am with it. And I was like being with my guides, and I was just like, I understand that this is going to change and shift, but open this up. I know my new dedication. I know my new life, and it's okay. I'm not going to get pulled back. It's okay.
Yes. Yes. That's so, so beautiful. That's so beautiful. It's amazing that as much as we mentally prepare for the new year, everybody is summarizing what happened, looking back, and it's a good time to reflect, to see how far we've come. For
Yeah.
me, it's been very reflective in a run up to New Year. Yesterday, I spent a lot of time looking back at 2024 and just truly appreciating how many beautiful people were put on my path, and how many enriching and how much enlightenment and how much I was ready to step into my mission as well. It's a beautiful realization. At some point, it felt like scary. How better can it get? How can it get any better? It's already so amazing. So
Well,
I'm opening up.
that's a great feeling to have, right? You're like, oh my gosh, could it get better? This is
Can it
amazing.
make it better? Yes, it's already amazing. So yes, I'm very excited. Thank you so much for allowing me to come back and participate
Yeah.
in your beautiful creation, and it's such a special day as well. So thank
Yeah,
you.
I am honored to have you on. And so I'm going to start out. I know we usually begin by holding hands
Yes.
and doing that. So I'm just going to offer my hand through the screen here with you, beautiful Galactic High Priestess Gosia, and your guides. And we're opening this beautiful channel, this beautiful interaction, the synergy between you and I and our missions and our guides. They are very happy to interact. What a beautiful energy of love, of devotion. As we
Mhm.
enter into this episode of Welcome to Channeling, we invite all who are here as we talk about bringing clarity to our missions, and as we talk about the fun and the way we can incorporate fun into our exploration and our passion. This is what we've come to explore today on Welcome to Channeling. And here we go. Click the link below. I'm going to start. Here we go. And I'm going to start the introduction. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to edit that. So here we go. Intergalactic beings of multidimensional realities. Welcome to Channeling. Galactic High Priestess Gosia, welcome. Welcome to Channeling. We are so happy you are here. We are so happy that we have this friendship and this connection, and that the fates of all that is brought us together here. And we are so excited to sit down with you and talk about, number one, your journey as you've opened to your mission, and how we can bring fun and play and joy into our finding and tuning in to what our missions are, because this is a part of the energy that is our true core light, is this joy, is this truth, is this celebration. And so I wanted to open, just really say it's been so fantastic to have my interaction with you. But I wanted to, first of all, plug that if any of you haven't checked out my other new podcast, which has been 3 years in the making, called Gwen's Crazy Magic Playtime Podcast Show. We just released an episode with me, with Alicia Iwanchuk, with my twin Grace, and we are calling ourselves the On Mission Musketeers, because really a lot of what we're going to be exploring as we have a few episodes in that arena is our mission and the joy and the purpose of our lives and how we can connect deeply with it. And so, Galactic High Priestess Gosia, I want you to tell your quote unquote a little bit of your story and how you've arrived to where you're at, and we'll go from there.
That's so beautiful. Firstly, thank you so much for having me again, Gwen. It's an honor. It's a privilege, and it's a truly something that I appreciate, because I am feeling that I'm stepping out into our world right now, bringing exactly what I have received in the past 20 odd years since I actually awakened in 2004. And when I have awakened, it was just a moment of crisis in my life. I don't tend to talk about this a lot, but it has been a moment of crisis in my then relationship, which pushed me towards finding a tribe that resonated deeply within my heart. And it was something that have been bubbling for a while in my life, effectively from me being a child, because I was extremely sensitive child, and I've been connecting to spirit world as a child. I've been probably preparing or have been prepared for my soul's mission since a child in this lifetime, but I know now, and I'm fully aware, that I've been prepared through many lifetimes before in my galactic lives as well, and I've trained in many dimensions and throughout the galactic. So in short, I have as an empath, I always have been aware of spirit. I always knew that there is something more to what we can see around. There is something that we can perceive with our internal knowing. For some people, it's knowing. For me, mostly, it's knowing. It's the ability to see things behind the veil. For some people, it's more about the feeling. I suppose that with time, as we progress in life, one thing leads to another. So as our clairs open up, we receive what we are able to understand. As a child, I was effectively extremely scared of everything I was seeing. I was aware of the spirit. I was communicating with the angels. I had a lot of interaction, mostly in my dream, but not always with other type of beings. I never thought about extraterrestrials at the time, but throughout my childhood and then teenage years, I very often looked around and I thought, I don't belong here. I know home is somewhere, but I don't know where home is. This doesn't feel right. And I think a lot of starseeds will have that kind of overwhelming feeling that we are here in this physical body, but home is somewhere else. And for a period of time, as I found my spiritual tribe, Gwen, in my early 20s, I channeled my intuition and I got involved in divination arts. that didn't last very long because I used tarot and runes. I used many divination tools, and I came to understand that I don't need them in order to see what is required to put forward as a message to my sitters or recipients. And it became very, very clear that I had the gift of clear vision, and I could see events even before they happened. At the time, my husband was quite taken aback, because very often I would have asked him questions about what happened in his life before he even wanted to contribute something. And my friends were always coming to me for, can you feel into this? Could you help me? Could you direct me? So that was beautiful. The
That
last,
is, yeah, that is, it's amazing. It's interesting when we see the people around us and did he start coming to you like if he had questions? I mean,
yes,
how did that turn out? Because sometimes that can be nerve-wracking and other times
for
it's,
some, yeah,
yeah, because for me, I think a lot of people say, well, if you're an oracle, or if you're this or that, or if you channel, then you have all of these talents and gifts. And you talked about Claire's being open and all of this, but like I had a friend just email me and ask me to do a reading on her pet that wasn't feeling good, and I said, I'm not a medical intuitive, but I
yes,
can lean in and I can see what comes through me, because we all have gifts and we all have bounds, and of course sometimes we'll explore and we'll develop certain gifts, but
yes,
everyone, even when we open up into our multidimensional beingness, we connect in that way. We're all still so unique, and our gifts are going to show up in such a unique way. We're all going to have different missions. And so I just was curious as to like, did he start leaning on you, or what was his reaction when he started understanding that you had this gift?
there was understanding, and there was never fear really, because I would see things and I would perceive things and I would know what's going on around in professional environment. But there wasn't a situation that he would be coming and asking precise questions. There wasn't that need and that type of curiosity. We still
Mhm.
have been living on a very much one part of our union on the physical plane, and me moving towards more spiritual plane, and they were mixing in a domestic life, but not that he would lean on me and look for solutions and answers to his professional life. um,
Mhm.
More of my friends and colleagues who knew that I could sense spirit, that I could see spirit, and that was my guiding light in life. I knew very early that whatever is happening around is happening for a reason, and sometimes traumatic events would take place in order to shake me up, to understand that I need to act on what I see in order to put myself in a correct path. Anything that happened in life, Gwen, and I believe it's the same for everybody. Truly, it's directing us gently and pushing to be connecting to our true path and our soul's mission. And I know and have been for some time saying that any rejection is redirection to the path that you are meant to be on. And not at all times we are able to perceive dramatic or difficult events in our life like that. For example, divorce, or an event which results in the loss of a loved one. But there is higher understanding to those events now from the spiritual perspective. And as you say, with channeling, I also feel that when it comes to us, I use connection to God Source as a way of being in my knowing, being my center. And I draw that inspiration and guidance from during the meditation, from what is being shown and how I'm being guided. And sometimes, when you connect, you know that something resonates with you as the guidance, because it resonates on your soul level, so you know you're receiving the true guidance, that it's not distorted. And nobody knows you your soul knows you the best, you know. So the
Mhm.
my way of thinking about channeling and providing guidance to others is, yes, you are a God's tool, so to speak, where you have the gift and you simply awaken a bit earlier than your recipient to the fact that you have that internal connection that you can plug into in order to be guided. And I do say that very often. I don't feel I love to receive messages, and when I speak to my beautiful friends like you, it's so beautiful to be at the receiving end when someone is saying to you, I see this, and you know, this beautiful path opening in front. It's not about telling and foretelling what's happening in your future, but on a soul level, we are able to connect and see each other. And at the end, we come from the same monad, so we are one, we are connected. So I can tune in into morphogenetic field, look into your soul. You can do the same for me. And I love to receive messages from other people who are intuitive like myself. It's beautiful, but I aim to say to others that the empowerment is my job, my mission is to empower others so they can awaken to what they have as an innate ability to connect. And we can call it channeling, we can call it connection to your
Mhm.
guides. You're connecting to God effectively, you're connecting to the higher version of yourself.
Yeah,
If
I
that
love that.
resonates with you. Mhm.
And I love, that you have this clarity in your vision of really what your desire is to assist people
Yes,
in connecting to their light, connecting to their truth,
yes,
and therefore connecting to a whole host of consciousness, of understanding, of a larger view, that is so powerful and so supportive. And that's one thing when I opened officially to channeling, it was amazing to feel that. And you
yes,
talked about, us star seeds being born into the earth and we feel like we're not at home, right?
yes,
And this is actually something that when I first opened to channeling, there was that deep, almost like feeling of abandonment and loss of home was there.
mhm,
And that was one of the first things that they really had me reach deeply into, to
mhm,
find that connection again, so that it wasn't me feeling like I needed to go somewhere else. It was all here, and the
yes,
connection was there. And so it wasn't me searching outside saying, oh, the answer is here in Galactic so and so's,
yes,
teachings. It is,
yes,
even though beautiful, wonderful truth can be heard, it's not about me going somewhere else. When we feel like we're not in the right place, when we feel like we're not home, we get to call home in, right?
yes,
This
yes,
is this is kind of the essence for me of what I've developed and what I've worked on for so many years is home is here. And it helped me really even connect and appreciate Mother Earth even more, and
yes,
say, what is the beautiful home experience that I can have here in this
yes,
lifetime with this body? And can I feel that beautiful nourishment? Will that
mhm,
even influence even the other versions of me that perhaps haven't had that, right?
yes,
You know?
yes,
And so this beautiful healing isn't just for me, it's for my whole soul, for my
yes,
multidimensional self, for
yes,
everyone. So it's
correct.
this beautiful experience that can open to us. And I just wanted to express that because what you shared reminded me of that experience for myself. And so I thought, oh, what a beautiful thing to bring all those together, because so many of us star seeds, we enter into the world and we're like, what is this place?
Yes, That's so true. And you know, Gwen, I would love to share something else, a thought, an understanding that is is new to me. And it's aiming to show other people that wherever we are in our life, in terms of our journey, our age, or our education, profession, it's truly so irrelevant. The basic point where we what helps, what should help everybody, is that we are incarnating on this planet to have the human experience. And yes, we all have our soul's mission, we have our soul's contract. Some of us, like Indigo 3 children that were born, undertaken a major missions, very difficult missions. And these were the missions connected to Mother Gaia, connected to healing, dark consciousness, bringing unity and bringing God consciousness and raising the planetary vibration. Why I'm saying all this? I am 48 and I have only understood my multidimensional nature this year. And that's why I'm saying this, that it's so truly irrelevant where we are in our life, what age we are. There is never too late, but we are all on our individual path. And what I understood is that when we are conscious enough to ask for and set that intention and express it clearly, that we want to understand and be shown who we are, or that we want to connect with our galactic highest version of ourselves, we have that power to call in that connection. So it doesn't matter who we are in this lifetime, where we are. It's important that when we're ready and we consciously consent, agree, and intend for that connection, it will happen for us. So you and I, we are no special. We all individually have ability to channel, if we want to call it channeling, or
Mhm.
simply connect to our higher consciousness. And it's a gift that is within us. We all have it.
Mhm.
So there may be, we are born with a lot of distortion in our DNA, our body. So naturally, for some of us, it may take a little bit longer to work through to work through our lessons that are opening us up to this higher understanding, but we all have that ability. So
Mhm.
that's why I really would love everybody to understand that it's never too late. And also, please don't look around and think that when you're beautiful in the sense of your connection, you can just go into this space where you are tapped in, connected like no one. You just have that. I feel that I have that connection now because it's with me all the time, all the time. It never switches off. But I also know that that's nothing special. It's simply what we are, who we are. That connection is
Yeah.
innate. It's within us. and
Mm.
and it I don't want anybody to look at people who are advanced and put themselves out as, channels of Galactic Federation or channels of this council, because we have naturally, as we have connection and inclination to connect with the star races, that we have the most of our incarnations with the big, the larger part of DNA connection and so on. But the thing is that um, we don't want anybody to be looking and comparing and thinking, I will never get there, because everybody and anybody can be in this innate state of connectiveness with
Yeah.
our own higher self and God source effectively. So I think
Mm.
it's a really important message for me to put it out there to other people.
Mm. Yeah. I love, what I'm hearing is number one, it's never too late. If you feel
Yes.
like you're 50, you're 60, you're 70, whatever, you
Doesn't
know,
matter.
it doesn't really matter. I think the important part is what you're ready for and what you work
Yes,
through in your life path to be able to
yes,
connect.
yes,
And it's going to look different for everyone. I think for
absolutely.
me, the ultimate gift, especially when I first opened, was just the amount of love that I felt
Yes,
within my system. And it's the recognition. You talk about being fully connected. It's me totally honoring that is me, right?
yes,
It's that placing myself, or knowing that that is naturally what I am, right?
yes,
Then
yes,
then it doesn't feel so hard to
yes,
connect once we get to that point, and once we're able to truly claim that for ourselves. I think that that's
yes,
kind of one of the magical tipping points for
yes,
me. Um, and I wanted to say I appreciate you talking to that, because ultimately when we open, when you say, I'm ready to open to my mission, to what I am, and you say who I
yes,
am, me coming from a Zen tradition, I say what I am.
yes. I understand.
and and saying I am ready for this, and I desire this, that ultimately this is for your edification. It's for your edification in your life. And
Yes,
it's not to show off and feel important, although some people end up being very powerful and helping other people. But I'm hoping that people can understand this isn't for you to feel important, quote unquote. You already are important. You already
absolutely.
are unique. You
Yes,
already are original. But we
yes,
all come from this beautiful source of love and light. And it's here for you in your life, right?
yes,
It's you showing up, or more of you in your love showing up for you in your life. And I
absolutely.
and I think that that's something, people are like, well, why should I do this? Well, I think a lot of people are just being opened just like instantly, and they're trying to figure out what's happening. But I
Yes,
think if there is a desire within one to really open truly, to know what love truly is, to know what light truly is, to know what true caring and self-love and love for others truly is, this is a beautiful way to be able to access that within yourself.
yes,
So,
absolutely, absolutely. And I think that it's not original thought of mine, but it's my own observations and realization. Since I have been activated with light language, my soul light language have been activated like that, and by hearing it from somebody else. There wasn't intentional activation. I heard light language and I knew that this is absolutely part of me. And I immediately started speaking it. And then the brain took over for a moment, because I went in this rabbit hole where you look at other people, and I looked and I thought I will never have this understanding of so many dialects. But what I understood then again, and it's been shown to me in a very beautiful, and I humbly, was humbled to receive it, because when my guides in meditation came to, I asked, please help me to activate my connection to the dialect. If I connect to my Arcturian guide, I want to speak to you. I want to communicate in my soul with you. If I connect with my Lyran guide, I want to connect with you in our language. And then this realization and guidance came through that I have to work through my distortion, through many distortion that have been inserted, implanted trauma that is from other galactic lifetimes, that's
wow.
preventing me from entering and accessing, expressing the certain types and dialects. So this is what I'm getting chills over my body, because that's another thing what the guides very often show me. I know they are here. I feel them. I call them. I see your guides behind you as well. And sometimes it's like a code they establish with me. When something has to be said, they will run the current through my body and they show me that this is something that you need to tell because it's relevant for people. So that's where I'm coming back and to this point that yes, we are open, and I was open, and my soul recognized my soul language. And as I started working on clearing my individual chakras and working on my timelines, past lives, which actually, as we know, time is not linear experience. I simply go to quantum and address what is showing up for me in my world today. I understood that I am then, when I do work and clear my chakra and work on my morphogenetic field, I am able then to access those dialects that they show up for me. So the message is, it's beautifully connecting to what you say, that our connectiveness is connected to our readiness, of course. And our readiness, that's where I'm coming, is connected to us working exactly on ourselves. So the self-love that you said, it's everything starts and ends with us. The self-love was a big thing for me. And this year, since my soul opened to the connection with my soul family more, my galactic family more, my higher self, and I started integrating and embodying that connection, my self-love has no limit. And I love that because I can now look at myself and say, I love you so much, girl. You've done so great. But I feel the same for other people when I look at them, Gwen, and I get emotional when I say so, because when that realization and connection is truly deeply embodied in you, you look at other people in a completely different way. I can't express this. There is unconditional love even for those who has caused me hardship in my life, throughout my life, and I could see them today and say thank you and I love you. I love you truly because you brought me to the place I am here now, and I'm grateful. You were my gift. It wasn't great at the time to go through this experience, traumatic or otherwise, but you brought me to this place. I am grateful. And yes, it's just, through channeling or connection, first and for all, bring everything to yourself, and then you are able to bring what you have learned and understood to others, like you are doing and like I'm doing now as well.
I love this. I would love to share more about this, but we're gonna take just a little break for people. If you want to go get yourself a nice cup of tea
I
or
would
whatever
do.
you want,
Thank
um,
you.
I'm gonna run my cute little sunstone ad here for everyone, and then we'll be right back talking more about how we open to our depths and
Yes.
the joy we can feel and what that process is. So here we go. I'm just finishing up a beautiful cup of tea and a break for my day. This cup of tea is a amended tea from Sunstone Formulas. They also have other beautiful teas like the woman's tea, which really helps me feel energized and clarified. And also they have colloidal silver at the best price you can find it, the highest quality, salves, and other beautiful formulas for you in your life. Please feel free to check them out at sunstoneformulas.com. Ah, there's me promoting my family's business. I actually used to make all of the formulas up, and I've created a few of them that are there. So I hope if anyone's looking for some beautiful teas, salves, ointments, other things like that, feel free to check them out. So I wanted to jump back into you talking about the self-love and working through the things that you need to in order to gain that access part of my story was, years ago when I was I was in a lot of pain. I was trying to assist my sister. Her family was in crisis. And I came to a point of kind of this determination. I was determined because I knew and I felt and I was connected enough that I knew that there was this wall separating me from so much more of what I truly was. And there were weeks and months, like several hours a day, I would just sit and I would listen to channeling because I was doing my best to overcome the fear in my body and the programming in my body that
Yes.
was telling me that
Yes.
I wasn't safe, that
Yes.
that this was wrong, because and I would sit and I'd open my system and I'd listen, I'd say, hear the truth, and I could hear the truth, I could hear the light, I could feel the depth, and I was like inviting it into my body, and I did that over and over and over again. So much dedication to that, and doing 100 days of meditation, and really trying to invite this into me. And I remember there was just this moment of connecting in with Lee Harris, who is an amazing channeler, and his system of how to connect. And it was just like, boom, it was just like that. It was like everything that I'd done in my life had prepared me for that,
Yes.
for that moment. And
Yes.
it was even how I did my massage work, and the over 20 years of doing massage, how I created art, all of that just increased the ability of that flow through me and the ways it could flow through me. And so, like you were talking about, it's not too late. It's never too late, because all of the things that we've learned in this life simply are ways that this light and this love can flow through us and can express even more. So I totally and wholeheartedly agree with you, that nothing that we experience or we invest in here is to no avail. All of it is useful and can be a tool for us as we
Yes.
walk forward. So,
If you allow me, Gwen, I will pick up on one thing that you mentioned, fear. If you allow me, I think it's very relevant because, again, I was getting my whole body chills to show me that this is something that perhaps will help some people as well. I was raised as a Catholic, and we have in this religion there is a concept of heaven and hell and purgatory. So, as a child, when I was having all experiences of seeing spirit with my physical eyes, at that time I didn't have anybody who would have told me that this is absolutely fine. Some people are just sensitive and can see that. I went to my local priest, asked for help because I thought that I'm being possessed. I had lived in fear because I could see entities, what I would consider not necessarily angelic nature, but of course I don't want to put that fear out there and name things because not everybody associates with angels and other entities.
yes. Hmm.
I knew that I was able to see energy in whatever energetic expression. And the priest said, there's nothing wrong with you. You can pray with me. It's all fun. It's all fine. And I continued living in this state of not understanding and very often fear. And I have been since a child terrorized in my dreams by dark entities.
Hmm.
Only now, after a while, I understood that it was part of programming. Fear is one of it's a conditioning and a programming that is stopping us from accessing our true nature and understanding that that connection that we have is pure, is always pure when our intention is set purely as well to connect with the highest being of highest love who are in service to one true God and mean no harm to others. You
Hmm.
made this almost as a mantra in my daily connection as well. But also, I have learned to clear my space, clear my field, in order to clear myself and have that connection held in a purest form. But coming back to the fear, when I was connecting with spirit, I am in meditation, in my initial spiritual journey, I had teachers who installed fear. They enhanced that fear even more. And this, only now in a hindsight and from perspective, I can understand that some of them didn't have appropriate psychic hygiene. They weren't teaching psychic hygiene. They weren't understanding, perhaps on their own evolutionary path, that clearing our energy and field is so important, because we are connecting, we are connected, but we're also influenced by not just positive, benevolent energy. We may and are interfered with by the negative polarized energy as well. So it's very important that when we keep ourselves in center, in connection with the God source, and our intentions are pure, it doesn't mean that negativity is not touching us, because energy, our thoughts are energy. So what we think can create negative charge as well, and thought forms. What other people think about us can also create thought forms that may attach to our field and interact with us not as we would wish. So all that and fear may prevent us from stepping into our power and creating this pure channel of connection with God and our higher selves. But fear is something that we can overcome. And we can also call on God's source and our guides to step in and help us. And there is always, as I call them, my cleanup team that will turn up and just deal with everything and anything.
I love that. You've got a cleanup team. It's so funny because when we were in our crazy magic playtime experience,
Yes.
I brought along with us a mop, and I was just like, let's just take care of that.
Yes.
What a way to play. And we're talking about how to bring play into our experience and
Yes.
understand how we truly have this creative power, and we can enter into it in play, right? We can enter into it
Absolutely.
in play. And you're talking about cleaning your centers, and we could talk for hours and hours about fear,
Absolutely.
and the levels of understanding of how we
Yes.
find ourselves, how we see ourselves, our own alchemic processes, what we're doing with ourselves.
Yes.
But I would love it if you would lead us in a little exercise, because I love to leave people something that they really can experience for themselves, right? And so I would love it if you would kind of show us what you've developed for yourself. Ooh,
Mhm.
I'm getting a ringing in my ear. Ooh, okay. Surrounding this, and what you've done to help clear your energy so that you feel
Yes.
more in alignment.
Yes. So I have many techniques, and I have learned many techniques. But what I understood to work for me the best is simply setting the intention and bringing the connection with the God source. So what I take charge of my space where I sit. I take charge of my field. And there is a formula that I use often, but it can be a free flow for anybody. I would set intention that, and I'm not proposing to go through all this in full scope, but I would put my hands on my heart and I would set what I call a sacred space, and I would call the God source to come from the central galactic sun through the galaxies, connect with our sun, and then bring the God source light, golden ray, to my highest chakras, soul star chakra, then to my crown chakra, and then feeling the whole space around me with the God Source golden ray, and then bring that golden light through my crown chakra in order to clear and cleanse all centers from my crown, my third eye, throat, higher heart, and heart, through my solar plexus, my womb, and my root chakra. And then I run this beautiful golden source light through my whole body down, and I connect through my earth star chakra with Mother Earth, and I anchor that golden source light into the center of Mother Gaia, her crystalline heart. And then I bring from Mother Gaia a beautiful light turquoise liquid light, crystalline light that goes through Mother Gaia, connects with my feet, and goes and enters my whole body through my root chakra, through my womb, solar plexus, and then it anchors in my heart, and it mixes up with my heart energy, God source, light, and it creates this beautiful pillar in front of me, 6 feet in front, behind, to the right, to the left. And that pillar then expands and extends and connects with God source. And I run the current from Mother Gaia through my higher heart, my throat, third eye, crown, through my soul star chakra up to the God source. And in this connection, as I sit, I am protected, and I call on Elohe Elohim to enter the space, to clear and protect, Seraphim, angelic order, Oraphim, angelic order, to clear the space. And I demand and command that any low vibrational entities, anything inorganic is being cleared from my space, my morphogenetic field as well. Any distortion, implants in my etheric field seeks to disconnect or interfere with that source connection, I demand and command to leave, and do not consent to anything returning. And then I bring my dragons, usually black panthers, griffiths, to patrol the connection. I've done that before. We came on live today, so my space has been already set and is protected.
This is so magical, and I love this. This is a tricked up version of a simple column energetic warm up that I offer people to just help them connect in with their energy and their source, and know what that feels like. So you've tricked it. I can say you've tricked it up, girl. You really brought in all these beautiful energies and all these different things going on, and connecting to different colored energies that are really potent and beautiful and nourishing to you. And I'm loving, you're bringing your dragons, all of these different things to assist. I mean, and this shows that the power that we have of what we can call in to assist ourselves in whatever way we desire. It was really beautiful because I was with you during this, and I was breathing, and this breath is so important when we go through these things, because it is the system of the release and intake of our system. And so, I was able to feel some of these, what would I say, in the field of, maybe negative patterned thoughts, and like I was breathing and I was able to feel some of them and just release out through me. And it's just like one of those things that as we're in this space, what's so powerful with what you showed me was that um, when we enter into the dark and we enter into the unknown, oftentimes we're in the space of the subconscious or unconscious, where all of these patterns, where all of these matrices are there that have, perhaps they're attached to us through family lineage, through genetics, through being in this 3D world, whatever it is. And so oftentimes when we're in this space, suddenly we'll see these things and then, we'll start pulling them into our experience or whatever. They'll, when we get scared or when we're not knowing what to do. And it's really fun to feel some of these patterns and some of these, it's like that field be able to be processed right through my system and out, like that's like pretty cool, right? Because you've developed the system of clearing that also attends to that aspect of our
Absolutely.
psyche, of our experience, which is fabulous. Like that's pretty awesome.
And the most beautiful thing is that this is a very short version of creating the connection and creating the sacred space and clearing your morphogenetic field. There is more to this process, but this is also to say that anybody and everybody can do so.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, what's very important is that we revoke the consent to anything that's inorganic or is affecting our field, our energy centers, that it's no longer. We thank, sometimes I even thank for certain things, for bringing certain things to my awareness, but we need to release that. Anything that is not there to our highest good needs to go simply. And the beautiful thing is that nothing has power over us. We are our sovereign beings, and in our sovereignty, we have power over our body, over our field. We have power over. We are in control in our space. So effectively, when we talk about element of fear, uncertainty, not knowing, it's okay to set intention for those inorganic things to be removed, or anything that seeks to distort our channel to connect with God's source energy. And in this, you feel, I know you felt this, Gwen, that when you connect with the source energy and you run the current through your body, it's just magical. The unconditional love is just beautifully overwhelming. I love to see it. When I feel at any point anxious, I check in with myself, with my field, and it automatically, like you say, pick up on what's happening around. And it happens so quickly when I connect with God's source now to remove that from that feeling of anxiety, anything that is making you feel a bit not right. Sometimes you can't even name what's going on, but you feel like quite not right, and you just check in with yourself and you are able to release all that's not there to be, because it doesn't belong to you. You are a being of light, and light you are. So anything that's not that can be cleared and removed and doesn't hold any power over you unless you consent to it to hold power over you. I revoke. And beautiful experiences I had when initially when I was connecting with spirit, I still had the fear, and because it was more of a fear of unknown. What if I simply surrender? And I was trance medium, so I would allow for the spirit to build this connection with my field, where you could see overshadow on the face, where you could adopt, mannerism of the spiritual discarnate soul. And all I would say is that I release the fear, but only when I connect with the highest guides from the highest dimension and with God's source, I receive and feel this overwhelming love and sense of peace. So I no longer do mediumship in that standard understanding. But when I work for myself, I do soul rescue work for trapped souls, and I
Mm,
learned and adopted techniques to assist those souls to move through without the need of using me as the portal,
yes.
because that's effectively what they were at some point doing, and I revoked consent to be a portal anymore. And I may share with you that the process of regaining that sovereignty over my field and revoking the consent to be that platform and portal for the spirit to move on to the plane where they meant to be, it was a process, and it took some time, because that consent is not just what we can understand in our 3D life. It's the consent that you have granted in your previous or other timelines, lives. So there was a lot of work involved on that, but it's
Mhm.
done now. So also, I feel it's important for people to understand that very often what stops us from that connection is not just what we have experienced in this life, but also in our multidimensional lives.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's interesting you talk about yourself as a portal or a gateway. And I look at myself and I've gone through the phase of, I see myself as a portal or a gateway, but at the
Mhm.
same time, I'm even more than that. And
Yes, yes,
and to me as a portal or a gateway, it's to serve me. It's it's
yes,
it's for me. And it's interesting to say, if I'm a portal and a gateway, I also can assist others to open themselves or open a
yes,
gateway for themselves. That are, like you said, we are sovereign, we are powerful. And as we
yes,
start to understand and believe and see into the many ways that things can happen,
yes,
then our power increases, our empowerment increases, and we don't have to be so afraid. You were talking about these different entities, and I can't tell you the slew of experiences of what I've come in contact with. I mean, it's astronomical. And there's a certain confidence that as we are connected to
yes,
God's force, as we are truly seeing, and as we are shown the reality of what our true empowerment, that fear is not
it's not
fear doesn't
that.
take over. It's because
Yes,
whatever is showing, there's always that God spark in it. There's always consciousness
yes,
in it, whether it's identity, it has identified itself as that, whether it's invested in that or not, there still is that
yes,
consciousness and God's spark in it. And we can simply claim that. We can claim ourselves in that light
yes,
in any situation there is. And so the kind of fear that was programmed into me, and I'm glad we're coming back to fear. The kind of fear that was programmed into me is no longer there. Yes, we
yes,
can be aware, like you said, when you start to feel uneasy or whatever. To me, that's a sign of, oh, I get to be aware of something and pay attention. I just simply get to pay more attention. What is that? What's going on there? It's okay. It doesn't have to have power over me. But, oh, okay, this is something that I get to pay attention to. And so, people say, well, I don't want to enter into something and be unsafe. When you're in complete awareness, then you are able to handle, and when you're connected and you have your guides assisting
yes,
you, then
yes.
then there's a level of security that's unmatched. It's
Absolutely.
astounding. And whatever happens and whatever lesson you're learning, I'm feeling into some of what you felt. Oh, goodness. I'm like, wow, that's so interesting, right? I'm like letting that come through and flow through. And I'm like, wow, how interesting. Even now, feeling those incredibly like unexpected, you could say terrifying at some point,
Terrifying.
terrifying
Absolutely. Yes.
experiences. They can still be assisted to move through you, and you be able to learn whatever you can to assist yourselves. Ultimately, we as we open up, we use safeguards like you just taught. We learn these foundational things that can support
Yes,
us.
absolutely.
Then we enter into a whole new world of experience.
Absolutely. And that's the most, you see, it's some depending on the teachings, of course, some people say, and I met those mentors as well on my path of growth. Some mentors will say, what you don't bring to your awareness doesn't happen to you. I was still, even though I was dealing with mediumship and connecting with spirit, at that point when I worked on my mediumship, developing that side of my connectiveness, I wasn't aware of of my galactic nature. So that was my first step that was opening me to the connection to higher vibrational energies. But as I moved on and understood that those energies are just at certain level,
Yes.
when you connect to the higher vibrational, higher selves, it's a completely different vibration. And the thing is this, I no longer believe that if you don't have in your awareness that there may be, something that you will encounter that's not quite positively polarized, that it's not going to happen to you. The thing is, the most important thing is just exactly as you said. We are always in our sovereignty and control, and the moment we need to be able to recognize, even when we connect to the guides, we need to understand and test them. We as sovereign beings must test those guides that are showing up as well.
Mhm.
Because sometimes, like, people come in disguise, they show up in disguise as well. And it's our responsibility to make sure that we connect with the purest energy, and those energies that are channeling through us and connecting through us, they are of the purest
Yeah.
nature. So this
And
is
I love
something.
that. I think what's coming to mind really quickly, and I feel like, oh my gosh, I have so much we can talk about, but I want to end with some channeling and a little bit of experience.
Yes,
But there's one thing that I wanted to bring up, and maybe if you have something come to mind that can help people identify if they're really working with beings that are of the light and of
yes.
highest vibration, is number one thing that I've really come to, just because of the state I
Mhm.
am in, the consciousness that I connect to, is that to 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 be really aware if an entity or what you're connecting to is trying to increase polarity, or is trying to separate people one with from another. It's trying to create more of an enemy, or trying to say this is righteous, that's evil, is trying to create that polarity even stronger in your life. This is a sign that
Yes,
in your being, what you're trying to do is confirm this separation, which ultimately in the divine order, we totally blast beyond that. We totally see beyond that. And that is the divine love. That is the
mhm,
divine love. Is we
yes,
see beyond that, and we see into the truth and the light that each of us are. And there's a compassion, I think, that can come forward, seeing that we're all kind of on this journey together. We're all entering into a challenging thing where there's a loss of understanding, a loss of connection, and we're all trying to figure out whether our empowerment, what that looks like, what that feels like. How do we overcome that feeling of separation? So we're all on this journey of that. And so I think it's important. That's one key thing that I always want to pay attention to, even if I'm getting a reading from someone. It helps me note the level of the entity or who they're working with, is if that's showing up and
yes.
their what they're expressing.
That's beautiful. That kind of understanding comes from the level of your connectiveness you already have. I would say for anybody who is perhaps just starting on their journey and thinking, oh my God, that's too much for me. I will never be able to handle this. I would say universal law. If you come to your meditation and you invite spirit guides, I know that when I work with the source, I will always invite guides to step in who are from 12 dimension or above. And that comes from the element of the teachings of Emerald Covenant teachings that I follow in my life. And we could talk so much about this, but this is simply what I understood and experienced when I connect with the guides who are from the 12 dimension and above. I know that they are not guides who are in any way fallen angelics. There is no element of distortion. So by setting that clear intention, I know I connect with God's source and those highest vibrational guides who are in service to one true God and seek not to harm anyone. That's my mantra.
Yes,
But
yes.
the simple mantra for other people who just want to learn to feel energies. In terms of universal law, I would say ask that guide if he is of the highest light in service to true God and doesn't wish to harm anyone. Ask 3 times and they will show you. They will have to answer yes. Other way, and it's like the also very simple way is simply use your body as pendulum. Do a test with yourself when you know that the answer, establish a connection with your body by intention and say, right, I want now to know whether my name is Gosia. And as I stand, I will make an agreement with myself that if the answer is yes, my body will move forward. If the
Mhm.
answer is no, my body will move backwards. I will ask 3 times my body that question, and I can guarantee that your body, you will feel energetic pull to you will be moved forward. Same, you can do exactly the same. When I in one of the systems that I learned, it's a question that I will ask: do I feel am I sovereign? Am I sovereign? And I will move forward. If I am not, then I know that there is some sort of interference around me that is seeking to attach itself to my morphogenetic field. And I ask those questions 3 times. And I can, Gwen, please try, and anybody watching later, do a little body test with yourself. I think it's the simplest way to use your body as pendulum, and I can guarantee it will work. It will
Mhm.
work.
Mhm. I love what you just shared, and because I love sharing with people even small things that they can test out for themselves to help
Yes,
them kind of build this foundation of understanding
yes,
and feel the sovereignty, right?
yes,
Because we say we're sovereign, but the more we learn, the more tools that we're shown, then the more
yes,
we can see that, the more we can feel that
yes,
within ourselves. And so it is key. Education is a part of the key. It's like a
yes,
baby,
yes,
learning to walk. We get to have those supports and those things
yes,
that will help us to then grow up and mature. And pretty soon we're doing jumping jacks. But
absolutely.
but we do, in the meantime, we have to hold on to the table, or,
Yes,
we get to practice in different ways and use the tools
yes,
that are available to us to
yes,
develop our skills. So any of you, if you've opened up and you're feeling frustrated because you're not, maybe you're having trouble interpreting things or whatever, it takes time. This takes
yes,
time. And if we look at it in these playful ways and we see some of these tools, then they can help us as we learn more about ourselves and how to see.
yes,
So,
exactly. And it's always about the trust. You bring everything that's happening around you for you and you bring it to yourself. So you learn with those simple tools, you learn to trust yourself. You learn and to lean into your own gut feeling or your intuition. And it's so important that even if there is a distortion around of whatever nature, those simple tools can keep you right. And they may be fun. I remember when many years ago my friend said, "Oh, I'm testing everything with my body," and I smiled and I thought that's a very, very interesting way. And then I tried, and that was like, it works. It truly works, because you will never fool yourself. Your heart will never fool you. So when
Yeah.
you lean into it, you will get the correct answer.
Yeah. And I think, for me, there's actually been some learning and steps within that, because when I started experimenting with pendulums and other things, there is a part of me, an aspect of me of fearful. Well, I fool myself all the time. I tell myself stories, I do this and that. But as I leaned in, it was easier. I started feeling into that trust, feeling into the
Yes,
heart of what
yes,
of the truth that was flowing
yes,
through,
yes, yes,
and sometimes we get to you know walk through those little voices that say, oh, I can't trust myself, this and that,
yes,
blah blah blah. But that's a part of the process. I mean, what a beautiful process to be able to free yourself from that thought
absolutely.
or that feeling or that experience, and say, oh, it's just because I haven't had enough experience. I haven't explored enough. It's like
Yes,
I fell down then and then, but it was because, you know, maybe you didn't have the right tools, maybe you weren't connected with your center enough, this and that. And so we get to start learning how we get to do that. More
absolutely.
I
Yes.
love I love this conversation. If any of you out here have not tried any pendulum work, or you want to try this with your body, I we've done a couple exercises here today, and I think this would be another great one for you to step into and attempt for yourself. So I love this. Before we leave, I know there's so much we could talk about, and of course I'll be in more contact, and we might have you on again. Gosia, before we leave, is there some kind of transmission or message that your guides would like to share with us before we go?
I think they do, because I already felt them stepping in. So I will just connect with my heart space. And it's my beautiful Lyran guide that connects with me really often, the most, really, at the moment. Kisaya katoronoi, yanantokataya si, akaranita takatoranai, yatatikaya si, koronoi itai. The God spark in you, the God's seed in you is in your heart. Kasai kotorani natakorasiya karanati ikatoyo no iatia. Every time you seek a connection, you will bring yourself to your heart space. Kasiya katoro no iatakatai no kasai katoro no iatai natukotoisi. Your heart is not something that will ever lie to you. Karani tuturakatorani sayakayatoyo no anakorasiya tayanati akatora no. I'm being shown this beautiful vision of heart, which is prominating threefold flame, which is this beautiful gold ray, this beautiful light blue and purple amethyst ray. So from the hearts, and I'm getting this beautiful heat in my heart. This transmission is the transmission from the heart to everybody's heart. Karanisia koronoia taya kanani tutuyo no kosi yakatoro no. It's time to lean into your heart. Yanakoratisia koronoia karani tatarakatosu yokotorini. In stillness and silence, you are able to discover who you are. Kayanata ka tasayaka toro no yatakoro no yoyukai. Yasakayanotoro no koi yatokorani. And you have the power to open your connection to your higher self and the God source through the portal of your heart. Anakoratia kasayakatoro no yakataya no yata anakasayono to yakatu sikiatoro no ya. And every time you open your heart and you seek that connection, you deepen your ability of understanding where you're being led to. Kasarakatoro noi atakuyanai ikasiya koronoi atakotoi matayanatia. And you are able to step into those dimensions where you can reclaim parts of your soul. Kasia katoro noi akati anakoriti anoi atakayani anokotortoi kayakaniti katoro noi ata masakaranati atatukoro noi atakaranata takata masakaranata rakatoro noi yayakataya, in order to feel that you are whole. Kasia katoro noi atakoranai atatosu yokotoranai yakatoto yonokoitiya, and stand in your true power as a divine being of light. Kataranatos yokotoro noi yatakoi nai, for we as one, Koranati yataronotoko totorononomaka yananana, are the creators of our reality. Kasayakatoro no yakarani tatarakatoro no yatakayamai yata. Just feel in your heart how much empowerment is coming through my guide, but to all of us, to show us that our heart is the portal to other dimensions, but effectively is the portal that connects us to our soul and higher dimensions. And every time we open that portal, we are able to connect with other aspects of our soul that we bring back to ourselves to feel whole again. And collectively, as one, we could create the experience we have on planet Earth. It's a beautiful message of unity as well.
Yes, it is. That was beautiful. And the visuals that came to me were beautiful as I offered the message to my heart. I have a unique system energetically that I feel almost like I have 3 chambers, I guess you could say, a 3-chambered system going on here. And in one chamber, there's been a lot of stuff going on and healing. And so I offered it to that chamber and what's happening with it. And it was really beautiful to see this beautiful transformation. And it was like, it offered up a beautiful holding. It was like this golden, ornate holding. It was, the I've been experiencing, this has been really interesting. I came to a space where it was like I'd enter into that space and I was now able to see, it was almost like this huge fleshy part of me. And it was like saying, this is the part of you that gets to be loved and brought back. And, and I'm like, wow. I mean, and it felt just huge, huge. And I was, and I've been spending some time with that, just sending love and feeling like sometimes it just flab off, or, all these different things happening. And I was there and sent it in there. And it was as if from what was left of that, this beautiful flower arose, like the love transferred through it, in this beautiful flower arose in this beautiful golden cage, and the orb and the love and the light was there. And it was so, so beautiful. And I was like, wow, that's such a beautiful message. We hear words, but when we energetically allow ourselves to hear it and we offer it as a gift to ourselves, what magic can come through for ourselves, right?
Yes.
And it's like, my mind wasn't saying, oh, this is what it means. I was literally offering the message to my system, right?
Yes.
And this is the power of what we can do for ourselves, as we open and listen and share. And I thank your guides for that beautiful message, and for all that you've done in your mission and your learning and your process. And I feel so very grateful. And I'm just going to quickly connect in. This is going to be a longer episode that I usually release, but I just want to check in with my guides. And yes, they do have something they would love to share. Say, we are here, we are here, we are here. And of course, in love of the highest caliber, dear Gosia, dear beautiful one. We are so appreciative that you have brought in this beautiful energy, this energy that we call blue. This is a color that is known in the world today, blue energy. But we bring this energy into your awareness as an awareness of the highest caliber of the what is known as the Melchizedek priesthood. When we say Melchizedek, for it is a name that was offered up to carry this resonance throughout all space and time. And so we are here honoring that this has been a part of your transmission today. And there is even more that is a part of your transmission. This beautiful lavender, this beautiful other color that brings in the heart of the feminine so beautifully, this soft, loving touch that is so important in our natures, both that which holds in a more masculine form and that which is feminine, which is this beautiful, loving movement, always wishing to nurture, always wishing to be aware of life and to provide the beautiful things that are necessary for it to thrive, to enjoy and be in joy. And so this is a beautiful combination, a beautiful coordination of energies of love and light together, helping hold us in this beautiful experience of life. And so we are here in honor, and we say thank you for bringing this combination in to these people, for them to feel it in their lives, this beautiful dance in the masculine and feminine and in their hearts. And we say to these people, feel into this, and whatever you feel is perfect. And if you feel emotions arising, perhaps even darkness arising that has been stuck deep within you, allow it to move forward and release. And know that you are safe and loved as we are here with you. We are here watching, and we know the challenges of being on this life, this earth plane at this time. And we say we are proud of you. We honor you for your choice to be here. And we are here with you. And as you reach out towards us, we will also make ourselves so aware. It will help you become so aware of our connection in your life that you will no longer feel alone. This is a gift. This is a blessing that we offer you. And if you desire it, reach out your hand, open your heart. We are here. We are here. We are here to love. We are here as companions. And as we bless you, you also bless us. There is never another way. We all are here when we all bless each other as we choose love, as we choose light, as we choose to see our connection and our union. And so we leave this in a loving thought with you and all who are here today. We honor you for being here, for being strong, for listening, for opening your hearts. And we leave this with you in love. Aho.
So beautiful.
Mm.
Gwen, thank you so much. And I connected. I connected with them. I connected.
I am so glad. Yes, that was really powerful and strong for me too. I want to thank you, Galactic High Priestess Gosia, for being here with me. And before we leave, tell people how they can connect with you, because you have so much to share and so much to give, and your energy has been such a bright, beautiful thing for me to be involved with and connect with.
Thank you so much, Gwen. You can find me, probably the easiest is to find me on my TikTok, which is Galactic High Priestess at Tara Sun Rishi. So you will find me there. You will find me on my Facebook under Lamia Lamia, which is Lamia, Lamia Lamia. I am in the process of finalizing, again, beautiful word, my channeled offerings. Yes, my offerings will be forthcoming shortly, within the space of next couple of weeks. The offerings will be focused on sharing my knowledge, but also connecting others with their soul language, light language activations, and quantum healing. I work a lot in a quantum field, and that's all through my own experience. So, focusing on quantum healing, light language activations, on any soul rescue work. So, if anybody is feeling the need to have their morphogenetic field checked out and brought to balance, I'm able to do so. I will put out a very detailed explanation on everything that you will be able to see what's in the offerings, but they are out of this world because they are coming from God's source and beautiful guides. So my aim, Gwen, is to connect with people who can feel the frequency and can recognize that they are contracted to connect with me, because then it's the purest connection and they can co-create with me. Same way our souls at some point came together and we are now connecting so beautifully together. Thank you so much. And if I may also say, please, for everybody who will be watching this later, check out the other podcast which we have. I had the pleasure to be part of, because our spiritual growth and spiritual journey doesn't have to be all so serious. We can grow through joy, enjoyment, and it's all raising our vibration. And as we raise the vibration individually, we raise the vibration of our planet, and we are all being able to just become this, connected, one beautiful, divine unity consciousness. It's really so important to look, if you're needing it, look for assistance, look for someone you can feel energetic pull and connection with, and remember to lean in your heart, because that is what will never guide you off your path. You will be connecting from your heart space, and you will be connecting to people and frequencies that align with your soul. So that's something I would like to.
Beautiful. And that podcast is Gwen's Crazy Magic Playtime podcast show,
Yay!
everyone.
Yay!
So I'm so glad that you were so willing to jump on there. And everyone just go and check it out. And we'll leave this with you and with a big amen. Let's play on. Let's bring joy into the exploration of our multidimensional selves, right?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much, Gosia. I'll make sure to leave the links that you mentioned down below. And then, of course, when you update me, I'll put the new links down below.
Yes.
And I'll just update people as we go. But thank you so much all for being with us, and welcome to channeling. Blessings to all as you explore and play. Thank you so much.
Lots of love.
Click the link below to receive your very own free soul play meditation, reboot, or soul song. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Welcome to Channeling. Till the next episode, own your stage and play on.
Hot Muffin Media.